So the TECHDECK Handboard, this thing has been out for a little bit of time, and yet I've still not seen a single video about anyone like modifying this yet. In fact, I've actually just not even really seen too many videos about this in general, and that could just be because this hasn't really been marketed too much. It might also just be that this is kind of too far away from fingerboarding and people just aren't even really interested in this. The TECHDECK Handboard actually did kind of surprise me with like the level of quality right out of the box for the price. I'm not saying by any means that this board is like perfect out of the box, because there's still a lot of stuff that could be improved on, and that's kind of the idea behind this video. So today I'm gonna modify the new TECHDECK Handboard and see how much better we can actually make it. So what's actually wrong with the TECHDECK Handboard? This is everything I've noticed about this board from using it probably for about 4 hours. Definitely the main thing about this board that I really don't like is the grip tape. I've talked about this at length with a fingerboard, and grip tape is one of the most important parts on any setup. I'm not expecting TECHDECK to put foam grip tape on like every single one of their fingerboards, but I feel like for this, it should have foam grip tape. You would have noticed on the last video about this board that after only using it for like an hour, my hand was already like hurting just from the grip tape. If they had this for only like $5 more, but it had foam grip tape, I would like way rather that over this. Definitely the first thing I want to change is the grip tape. So the wheels on the TECHDECK Handboard, what do I think? I would say they're probably the best part on the board. Even though they don't spin super well, they feel pretty decent when you're using it. Now for modifying the wheels, I'm not gonna do a whole lot to like the wheel itself, because these already have metal in them and I can't really take that out and put a bearing in. As the board is rolling, sometimes it does make a little bit of like a squeaking noise, which is just metal on metal. So about the only thing I do want to try with the wheel is putting some sort of lubricant in them and seeing if that makes it any better. Now the trucks on this board are pretty decent, all things considered. The shape is definitely decent and it feels like solid enough. Now the bushings that are on these trucks, they're still made out of rubber, but that doesn't really mean they're good. So I definitely want to improve those as well. So the best thing is that everything I just mentioned about this board can pretty easily be fixed. So first thing, taking the grip tape off. If TECHDECK put the same grip tape on this as like a normal TECHDECK, this might be like impossible to get off. I'm hoping this comes off in one piece. The grip tape's already separating, so I'm gonna use this and see if we can heat it up. The default grip tape is removed, but I also have no foam grip tape made for a handboard. This might look pretty cursed, but hear me out. Foam grip tape made for fingerboards should technically work. I know it doesn't look correct, but we're gonna use it. Something I was like not expecting at all was these actually have like a riser pad. The deck actually has a spot where it kind of like goes down a little bit. I don't entirely know why these actually have this, but we got them, I guess. Okay, this came out better than I was expecting. Still got to cut the edges off, but this doesn't look all that bad. Okay, so the grip tape is replaced and this is looking pretty good. Not only does this like feel way better, it also just like kind of looks a bit cleaner. The TECHDECK grip tape's like kind of like a gray color and this is just like blacked out. So I think it looks pretty good. I want to see what we can do about these wheels. Like I've said before, there's actually a little piece of metal inside of the wheel, so it's pretty much metal on the truck. Having these wheels like metal on metal is definitely way better than having like plastic on metal. Pretty much the main problem with this is just it's gonna make some noise. It still feels pretty good for the most part, except for you can kind of feel like a little bit of like rough kind of grain to it. So the solution is something pretty simple that quite a few of you might have, and it's bike chain lube. I'm not using a dry chain lube, this is like a wet chain lube, so I'm hoping it kind of stays in there for a while. I'm probably not even gonna take the wheels off, and I'm just gonna see if I can get some of this in there. I think I put like way too much in, but we're just gonna let it like soak in and see if it does anything. I'm gonna take a tissue and just kind of like clean it up. That spins way better. I actually was like not really expecting it to like work that well. Just a comparison, this is without it, and this is with it. That is like noticeably better.
Money, baby.
No No way, that feels like amazing. I thought it would do something, but I didn't think it would like solve the problem completely. This kind of rolls as well. All right, so grip tape is complete on the board. Wheels are also complete. The final thing that needs to be modified on this are the trucks. I'm just gonna start by removing the nut on the trucks, and I'm just gonna use some pliers because I don't really have the right tool. This is what we got. Pretty basic, 2 bushings and then 2 kind of like bushing cups. I have some of this like clear acrylic tubing, but check this out. This fits right over here and we might be able to make like a perfect pivot cup. That is as perfect as it gets. Once the hanger goes back on, that just sits right in there. I was not expecting that to like fit so perfectly. So these are the bushings and they're not really like the best type of rubber for a bushing to be made of. I have something I want to try and it's using this giant like spaghetti. I got this a long time ago. This is called surgical tubing and it's basically just like raw kind of rubber. This stuff is like super tough, so we're gonna use some of this. I'm gonna see if we can like cut bushings out of this. These are gonna squish together anyways, so I'm not gonna worry about making them like completely round. I'm gonna punch a hole through it using a nail. This is a truck that doesn't have any modifications. You can see after I do that, it kind of just sits on that angle and you need to like manually correct it. This is the side with new bushings and a pivot cup, and that just snaps right back. That works pretty well, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing on this side. All the modifications are now done, and this thing is actually running like really well. I'm probably like most impressed just about like how well this rolls. This stuff is just like magical. I still haven't really done any tricks on this, so let's see how much of a difference this actually makes. These bushings are so smooth. I'm guessing the pivot cup probably also makes this like just feel way more smooth. If the pivot cup wasn't there, it would just be like metal on metal and you would just be able to like feel that. A lot of you have probably seen me do like these exact same modifications to like a cheap plastic fingerboard like a TECHDECK. Whenever I do that, there's like a noticeable upgrade to it, but it's nothing like too wild. But after doing like all of the stuff to this board, it's like a completely different setup. I also didn't notice like how rough the wheels actually were until I had it like super smooth. Not only is it like really smooth, it's also just like quiet. The grip tape took me a little bit just to get used to because it's almost like too much grip. But like now that I've kind of got used to it, it's like way better. And my hand isn't getting like destroyed. If anyone watching has like more ideas on what I can modify about this board, go ahead and drop a comment down below. I would also be curious what it would feel like to actually put like professional handboard parts on this board, because this feels like really good how it is, so I don't know how much better it could get. That's it for modifying the handboard, and I'll see you in my next video.